And we are live. Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Jason Hebert Live. If you're not familiar with our program here, what we do is interview the loved ones of missing persons and unsolved homicides in an effort to help spread awareness, help bring loved ones home, or at the very least, help bring justice to the families. It's been the bulk of the last 2 years since I've been doing some shows, so this is one of our first shows back. I think we did one within the last 2 years. So we are, as far as I know, right now, permanently back. So thank you so much to everyone who stuck with us and understood. There have been health issues. There's been all kinds of things going on throughout the years, work, time that I couldn't devote to this. So thank you so much if you are someone that has been here from the beginning. And if you're not, welcome to all the new people. I hope you enjoy the show. And if this is your first one, just know that we try our best to help these families as much as we can. Um, I couldn't imagine being on the other side of this microphone. I deal with a lot of different scenarios, and people always give me credit for everything that I deal with. And I always say, being on this side is not even 1/100th as hard as being on the other side of these interviews that we do here. So this, especially today, that's true, because if you are a longtime viewer of the channel, you will actually recall today's case. So a few years ago, I had the pleasure to speak to a wonderful woman named LaTatia. Give me one moment. LaTatia was here to speak about her son who had been murdered in front of his house. Her son's name was Gregory Louis. He was shot and killed in front of his house. I believe it was North 2408 East Street. I'm sorry, it was in East St. Louis, Illinois. Um, I'm sorry, I'm reading the notes, and the little 2408 must be the address, but it was East St. Louis, Illinois on May 28th, 2020. LaTatia then came on our program to speak about the murder, trying to help solve it and get justice for her son. Um, we finished talking. We stayed in touch a little bit throughout the years. Recently, I received an email. Not recently, actually, it took me a little bit to get to it. So for that, I apologize. But I received an email from LaTasha's mother, Mae, that unfortunately, LaTatia, while she was doing her investigation and trying to bring justice for her son, LaTasia herself was shot and killed on May 3rd, 2023, also in East St. Louis at a Marriott Hotel as she was leaving and going to her car. So this has been an absolutely awful case where you have a mother trying to bring justice to her son. You now have, I guess, a mother and grandmother trying to bring justice for her daughter and grandson. So our hearts and prayers are with you, LaTasia. It was a pleasure to get to know you when we did. And all we can hope to do now is continue this on. And we got, I'll say one thing, if nothing else, this is a strong family. Um, they're dealing with all kinds of adversity here, and right away the next one steps up and takes the reins and fights for the other one. So for that, I just hope that they know that they have our respect and our love, and we're here to help them. So let's give it a moment for everyone to come in the chat before we bring Mae on. Hello, Elaine. We have Lutz here. This is my first time on in a couple years, guys. So if I'm a little rusty, bear with me. It's going to shake the rust off a little bit. Carolyn, how are you? You're one of my faithful followers. You remember me coming on a while back, and I wasn't feeling well. Yep, we're good. Our puppy passed. If you don't know Toby, we did get a new puppy. Just as a good time to bring this up real quick before we bring Mae on. So the way we're going to be doing the show from now on, guys, not tonight, but starting within the next couple of weeks. How many people do we have? 15. Let's see if we can at least get a few more. I know it's going to be pretty low tonight because no one really knows we're on until we start running again. But how we're going to do things from now on is we're going to do a show at either 8 or 9 p.m., just like we always did, like we're doing today. We will then end the show and go ahead and do like an after show for half an hour afterwards. That will be for like the channel followers. So the first show was for that day's guest, for the family to come on, like we're doing today. Then we'll be doing kind of like a secondary show for people that watch the channel regularly. So things are going to be a little different. That's how they'll go from now on. Hi, Chris Marie. Hi, Dana. We got 16 people. Hey, Laura. What's up, guys? Everyone, please like and subscribe. Thank you, Leslie. And Elaine. Hey, right. Gregory Stewart. That's correct. Right. Gregory Stewart. I remember you doing Andrew Gosden. He's still missing. I know, Elaine, he is. Okay, guys. So what we're going to do is bring on Mae. Give me just a moment. Hi, Mae. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining us today. So like we had talked about, basically, I'm going to kind of give you the floor. What I think would be best to do would be for you to start by just kind of refreshing Gregory's case. I know a lot of it's already public, but as we were saying, kind of we'll talk about Gregory's case, then we'll talk about LaTasha's. We'll bring in how you. I'm going to say no. Well, I guess we have to say allegedly. You know, any names that we bring up today here for legal reasons, there are no accusations or anything like that. Everything is assumptions. We have to say that just to protect ourselves. But I want you to kind of talk about each situation individually with your grandson, then your daughter. What happened that makes you pretty sure that they're connected, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Jason, for inviting me today.
My pleasure.
I have been had been flying back and forth with LaTasha during the marches and during different conferences that she would attend when Gregory was murdered. Gregory went to help a friend and wound up dead. He was murdered at 248 Bond Street in East St. Louis. The detective that is over Gregory's case name is Detective Props. And he promised us that he would not stop until Gregory's murderer was found.
Okay.
We brought Gregory back home privately because we did not want anyone in St. Louis at that time to know where he was being interned at, what his or anything, because there were so many things going around. The streets talk.
Right.
The streets gave my daughter a lot of information. My daughter, in turn, passed this information on to the detective that was handling the case, Detective Props. And he assured LaTasha that he was not going to stop until justice was found for Gregory.
Right.
It did not happen during that time. He was murdered April 29th of 2020. We buried him May 3rd of 2020. My daughter kept speaking out. She kept begging. She kept walking the streets of St. Louis. She kept putting up posters. Her Gregory's two grandchildren, the one that LaTasha was raising after Gregory was murdered. There they are. They after she was murdered, we still continued to ask and seek information, but nothing has been done as of yet. I have called the detective. I spoke with him on several occasions prior well, it's been about 3 or 4 months. I have called him. I have left messages. I have asked him. I even gave him some information that LaTatia knew about, but she had not given it to him. I did.
Okay.
And since then, I have heard absolutely nothing. I cannot, I don't know why I can't reach this man. But
Have
if I,
you have you tried to maybe, I apologize for interrupting. Have you tried to maybe call someone else in, his boss or?
no, I believe that is my next step.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I have, like I said, I emailed him and I called him. I've called him several times with no response.
Okay.
So I'm not giving up on that. If I have to make a trip back there and go to his office in Collinsville, then this is what I intend to do. Because we need answers so that we can begin to heal as a family. Gregory's death was just the beginning. LaTatia pushing, speaking at different places, joining so many different organizations. I even joined some of those organizations. I went back to St. Louis when there was an open event. I spoke because I was asked to. And I said then, my daughter's words were, I am going to seek justice. I am going to speak out until my last breath.
Yeah. And then, so the day of the Marriott, was she there to specifically investigate the case, or was that kind of aside from the reason she was there?
No, LaTatia worked for the Marriott chain.
I see.
She was about to retire and she was coming back home to take care of her mama.
Sorry.
When she got off work, she was not parked on the bottom deck because she could not find a parking space there. And her and my grandson usually park side by side. But my grandson left work early that day. And my daughter called me. She called me twice from work. She called the grandchildren that she was raising. She called several other people and spoke with them because this is what she did.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, Mama, I'm going to call you back. I was at work. And I got this call from Marriott. And he was just saying, Grandmama, mama dead, my mama dead. I'm like, boy, quit playing with me. Like, I'm not playing. My mama dead, grandmama, mama dead. And I lost it.
Yeah.
When they talked me back around, my building where I work at was filled with some of my bosses, and I didn't know how they had gotten there. My daughter here in Savannah was pulling up in her truck, and she was, so I had to believe then that she was dead. We caught the first flight out before daylight the next morning. And when we got there, my grandson refused to wash his hands for 3 days. He would not wash his hands. All he would say was, see my mama's blood. Because apparently he tried to perform CPR on her.
Mm.
Her phone went dead and he couldn't get her back. So he turned around and raced back to the Marriott. And that was when he found his mother behind the wheel. And someone told him to take her out and try to do CPR, but she was gone.
And there's not to interrupt, but I know that there are quite a few details to her shooting as well.
Right.
Something to do with something that was taken that kind of ties this all together, as well as came back the next day, something else happened. So can we kind of go over all those details that kind of really seem to point this towards, being related to Gregory or?
Okay. What happened was with that was the first day I found out, well, maybe later on, I found out that the only thing that had been taken from my daughter was the button that she wore every day with Gregory's picture on it. Someone snatched that off of her jacket.
So they shoot her, and instead of taking her wallet, they take off the remembrance of Gregory pin.
Yes, to let us know.
Right.
Otherwise,
Brutal.
she had cash money. She just cashed her check. She wore, everyone that knew LaTatia knew she loved her diamonds. Every diamond was still on both of her hands. Her diamond watch was still on her wrist. Her earrings. Everything was still there except the button.
See, I'm shocked. I could see why maybe not taking diamonds, because you'd be worried that pawning them you'd get caught, but they didn't even take cash.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So that's really a message, that just taking that button.
Right. She had her credit cards in there and everything. They took nothing except the button. That was it. They put whomsoever did it emptied a 38 caliber weapon into my daughter's vehicle from the front passenger side. So I'm assuming they were bent down because she would not have gotten into her car if she had seen them.
But they were outside the car, of course.
Yeah,
You say they were, but and
right.
then they
were outside.
They weren't in another vehicle?
No.
Okay.
Her car was pulled against the wall. When you pull into these parking decks, you have to pull almost up to the wall.
Kind of like tight, yeah.
Right. And so that's how she parked. And
they were hiding. No, and they don't have any footage of this person?
No, there were no cameras up there.
That's odd for a Marriott.
They had a few cameras, but there was no cameras on that floor where she was. If it was, she could not be seen.
I've never heard of that with such a big brand. I mean, obviously the camera's not going to cover everywhere, but you would think there's somewhere on that floor.
Right. Okay. But apparently it wasn't. And this guy came, he wasn't caught that day. He came back a second day and shot 2 other employees. So there again, it's my impression that he was looking for someone else and he didn't know what he looked like. All he saw was two guys in Marriott uniforms, and he shot them. One young man was seriously injured. The other young man was able to be treated and released. And I read one publication that the father said this particular young man was slowly healing, and I'm grateful for that.
Sure.
The gunshots were from the outside of the vehicle. They came through the windshield.
So the second day with the two young men, was it the same things from the front passenger? Somebody had jumped up, or like what was the
No,
angle from that was different? Okay.
no. He was apparently, from what I was told, they were walking, coming from work, and he saw them. So he just started shooting. But they didn't catch him the second day either. So he came back the third day.
Can you believe that? I can't even believe the second day. I
he,
can't even believe if you steal a bag of chips, I wouldn't go back to that place the second day. And
he went back the second day, shot two more people after he killed my daughter the first day. Then he went back a third day. And they say he was walking through the garage with a gun. A couple of people who were checking in, spotted him.
they saw
Told
the gun.
saw security. They told security, and security called the police, and the police caught him as he was trying to run away. And
But how did they know it was him? Did they see him the second day? So now they knew what he looked like. So when he came
no,
back,
they didn't see him. The people that saw him the third day described him. And then they saw him on camera as he was walking out of the place. And they did a full convergence because that's the day that they caught him. He allegedly threw the gun away, admitted to them that it was him. Then later, I was told that he decanted his story. Then he came back and said he did it. So, and the trial is constantly being pushed back because.
I was going to say, he says that he admits it was him, but not for both of them, right? And there's more to this.
Yes, at least that's my thinking.
So he admits that it's him, won't really explain why, won't talk about the button or won't give any. So can you go over that as well as why you think he might not be the only person? You think there's someone else out there, an accomplice or something?
Yes, my daughter and I both believe that there was. So at the time we said that when we would talk, we said there were two more people out there. We didn't know who these two people were or anything, but we just, mother's intuition.
Okay.
And we just really felt that there was two people out there. So when she said that, and I agreed with her. So they've caught one, and there's still one more.
Okay. So it's kind of an intuition thing. So so we don't have like a second person running on camera or something. I just want to make sure we have all the evidence.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, but you feel that there might be. So he says there's not. He's claiming it was just him. What's his reasoning for taking the button and not taking anything out? What's his reasoning for all of these, for coming back for? I mean, this is all craziness. What is he saying about?
He's not saying anything. He's refusing to talk.
But he has said, I did not shoot Gregory.
At one time he said he did, it did. The detectives both are saying one murder does not tie in with the other. They're saying that, but no, there's no way unless they can give me proof positive.
I mean, they're correct in general. One does not necessarily mean the other, but I mean, when you're specifically taking a button that represents that person, now you got a couple of questions to answer.
Right. But I don't know if anyone's asking those questions because no one's talking to me.
Right.
No one's talking to us. We
Let's put
can't.
it this way: we know he's not scared to shoot other people because he did 3 in a row, so
Yeah,
he sure could be.
right. And
Okay.
what? But the common sense would have a person to wonder, why would you go back a second time and then go back a third time if you were not looking for something or someone specific? The
And who
second,
who do you say you think he was looking for the second or third day? So
I,
another one of your family members.
yes, that's what I feel.
So if it is what it looks like it could be, you have someone who, for all intents and purposes, is damn near a serial killer. And he, right? I mean, 2 people makes you a serial killer, I believe, is the rule, or is it 3? I don't know. But this guy, you got Gregory, LaTatia, and now he's back looking for a third, all in the same family. I mean,
Yes,
it's like a literal serial killer
yes,
stalking one family. I've never
yes,
seen anything like it.
yes.
Allegedly, of course.
We have received death threats. Well, my daughter was receiving those. She was being threatened on Facebook, Instagram, uh, YouTube, um, and that if she didn't stop, they called her a B, told her she would be lying down there right beside her B son
Mhm.
since she died.
This is on Facebook.
Facebook, and we took all of those to the police, and they said, "Oh, don't worry about it, because it's just a fake page that they're putting up." And then they leave that page, and then they started it on me.
So as soon as they stopped harassing her, they went to you.
Yes, and
Okay.
I don't care, because I'm not going to stop. I'm going to get justice of some sort for Gregory. I know.
You got some nerve thinking you could do that to a family and then just scare them into stopping. So,
This is what they thought. They thought we would just fold up
right.
and slink away. We got two. We telling y'all on Facebook. And I even made screenshots of what they were saying to me and took it to the police, but nothing was done.
So I don't know like any hackers or any kind of crazy stuff like that, but I do know a couple people that are pretty good with computers as far as kind of going in back end stuff and finding things. If you can get me that page, there are things that you can look up as far as what email address a page was linked to or things like that. There might be a way to get some info on that page if you still have what that old link was.
Oh, I do.
You do, okay.
I have the one where the ones that they sent to my daughter. I have the one that they sent to me.
I can't assure you that I could find that, but I could try. And if I can't, I could tell you someone can.
Okay.
At least get you at the very least to where it's in this city or it was under this email. And maybe you can say, oh, I know who would make an email like that. I mean, there's got to be something that you can use. So, like I said, because haven't been around in a while, it's a little slow tonight, guys. We've only had about 30, 35 people at a time. I think there's been a couple hundred overall throughout the time we've been in. But so we haven't really gotten a ton of questions yet. If anyone has any questions, I know there's a lot kind of to the story, so you guys are probably listening, but feel free to ask anything. Typically, when the chat is large, there's a lot of questions coming, so you guys can ask if you would like. Just know that if you're in the chat. Okay, so when is the trial keeps getting pushed back? When is the trial set for now?
The trial is set for sometime in April now. It was supposed to have been the 16th of this month,
Okay.
And I got a call this afternoon saying that it's not until April now.
Okay. Just like typical court junk as to why it got pushed back, or any reason specific to the case?
Well, the young man had several other cases that they wanted to,
Oh,
that they tried him on first.
not surprising.
Yes, and then I was told today that the attorney, yesterday, that the attorney that they had was,
Is that on your end?
yeah, that's my
Oh, is that
husband.
a phone? Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was.
Hey, whoa.
yeah, that, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I
But,
tell you that too.
but, oh, my train of thought, Lord.
It's all right. He's going to the other room. I can see him.
Yeah, but the
I call you.
victim witness lady that's working with us called me, and she told me that the attorney, his attorney, was trying another case, and if that case was not finished when he went to his motion hearing today, which is the 8th, that the trial on the 16th would be pushed back. I just didn't think it would be pushed back until April,
Right.
but it did.
Okay. Geez. Is there anything off the top of your head, whether it has to do with Gregory's case or LaTasha's, that isn't out there that you want to make sure is out there? Is there any questions you have for the public? Someone that might know something?
Yes, please. We're still Gregory's award amount is now $6,500, and we're still asking anyone that is willing to come forth with a tip that leads to the incarceration of this person or these persons.
Okay.
Contact the Illinois Crime Stoppers tip line at 1-866-371-8477. And if your tip leads to us finally getting this solved, your name will not be mentioned. My daughter promised that. I'm promising that now, because there's so much unsolved crime happening in Illinois right now today that something has got to be done.
So let me ask you this real quick. So there's the reward now. You're under the belief that this person that shot LaTasha, that he could also be responsible for Gregory. Do you want to put his name out there so that if someone hears it, they might be able to say, I know how he.
Excuse me, please go away. I'm gonna put his name out there.
Well, it'll be on public record anyways, right? If he's on trial.
His name is Deshaun King Wilson.
Okay. Yeah, you're not doing anything wrong. He's already on public trial.
Right.
So
he is.
It's not something people can't look up themselves.
No.
I'm just trying to make the process easier. That's all.
Yes.
So I only say that because someone that knows that name might know how he connects to Gregory. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. Because there again.
And again, it's all alleged, but.
Yes, the streets talk.
Right.
And they had been talking a lot to my daughter.
So.
And she had been turning it over. Yes, I know.
Yes, Sandy Curry, I just want to read in case people are listening on radio. She says, clearly LaTasha was targeted. Was there not one witness?
Not one. There was not one witness.
That is crazy. In a Marriott parking lot.
Yes, she was getting into her car. Her shift was over.
Was it super early or super late?
No, it was in the evening.
And what time was it about? Do we have that?
Oh, I
About 4:30, 5 o'clock.
I think it might have
Oh
been.
my goodness. That should have been a parking lot full of 20 people. I don't get it. In a Marriott? In the middle and lunchtime or dinner time, whatever you said? I
Yeah,
don't get it.
it was around dinner time because LaTatia would leave and go home. My daughter was a very hard worker. She would leave, go home, take care of those two babies that were there, and go back to work. And in all of this time, no one in almost 20 years thought that something like this would happen to her.
Right. I mean, the poor thing is working hard in her regular job. Then she's working hard for her son, and just
Yeah.
it's always TLS. I'll answer it real quick. I try not to. Well, we'll leave. Never mind. So TLS said it came in late. This trial's for the daughter's case, and no one has been charged in the son's. That's correct. So yeah. So originally, Gregory was shot and killed. This was back in 2020. There is no one that has been charged with that case. His
Right.
mother, who is Mae's daughter, LaTatia, was doing her own investigation since the police aren't being super helpful, we could say. So LaTatia was then shot and killed at Marriott. So there has been someone charged in that case, and there will be tried this April. But you are correct that no one has been charged with Gregory's case. Although what we've been talking about here is that we do believe, again, alleged, that it's very likely that this person that shot LaTatia is also responsible for Gregory.
One way or the other. Yes.
Oh, we got is this is your daughter as well, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay. So that was LaTasha's sister?
Yes.
Okay.
And they were extremely close.
Yeah, she's been helping out in the chat, answering some questions.
Yes.
So thank you. What's her first name? I'm sorry.
Deanie.
Thank you, Deanie. I appreciate you helping out in the chat. It's really hard for me to answer that. It's like a lot of multitasking because I got to listen to you and talk to you, but also respond to the chat. So I appreciate when there's someone like that can help answer questions. So thank you so much, Deanie. Okay, so I had said, is there anything you want to make sure gets out there? So you talked about the reward, the $6,500. Again, guys, she gave the information. You could go back and I'll have her give the phone number one more time. I'm also going to put it in the description of the video. Your name will not be put out there if you give information. So it's I think you said it was tip. What was the tip line? You want to say it one more time?
It is the Illinois Crime Stoppers tip line, and the number is 1-866-371-8477.
Okay, and just to kind of recap a little, you said his name was Deshaun King, was it?
Deshaun King Wilson.
So if you are someone that could be able to give a tip, let me just summarize again real quick. So Deshaun King Wilson is the person that has been charged with shooting LaTatia and shooting these other people. He went back to the same place 3 days in a row. Again, allegedly. So, but by my count, this guy is obviously not all the way there. If I stole a bag of chips from a store, I wouldn't go back there the next day. I'd be too scared. This guy's going back 3 days in a row. So this person who shot LaTatia, if you do want to try, help with Gregory and the reward money and all that, if you know this person and you know what connection he could have to Gregory, that could be extremely helpful to this case. So, especially if you're in the area, East St. Louis, that would be the key, right? What connection does Deshaun King Wilson have to Gregory? Because that's something we have no idea, right?
Right.
Okay. is there anything else you wanted to make sure to get out there other than the tip line?
Okay. If you come up with any information, any more information concerning Gregory's case, you can reach Detective Props at 217-454-2132. He's in Collinsville, Illinois.
And he's the one that's not very responsive, though, right?
Yes, him nor Detective Leopold. And Detective Leopold is the detective that is over LaTasha's case. And he's in East St. Louis, Illinois.
Yeah, you have to find out what's the hierarchy in that department, and you have to get to someone either above him or on his level that can help you out. Because, and again, I don't know this detective, and I'm not involved in it, obviously, but at a certain point, you need some kind of answers. You need to be shown something. We're trying here. You can't just not get a response. So you need to put that out there that you're not receiving any help at all. And I can only imagine it would only get better if they'd reassign someone to the case or something.
Yeah. Well, they said that this is a high-profile case because my daughter was well known. Oh, God, she was well known. I had no idea. People in California knew my daughter. Chicago, they named an award after her, the LaTatia Stewart's Award for gun violence when they passed the law in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this year. And her name was on a broad screen like she was the president or somebody.
I never heard being just very sweet, very likable, so I could see how she would take to people like that.
We actually had to have two viewings. We had to have one in Illinois.
Wow.
And then when we brought her home, we had another one here.
Real quick. So Sandy Curry says, you'd assume those gunshots would get people's attention and someone would see a getaway car or something. That's true. Now that he's caught, did he have a getaway car at all? Or did he just keep running away from the scene and running back the next day?
No one knows. No one saw him the first day.
So he never said once he confessed.
Right. No one saw him the second day. The third day, when he was caught running away.
Mm-hmm. So he was caught running away the third day, and then he admitted to shooting her. Did he say I ran away that day also, or he just didn't say?
No, he didn't say.
He's bottling up.
Yes. We don't know anything. He refuses to speak. When we went to court once, it was supposed to have been on video camera. He refused to come out of his cell. He got 2 contempts of court that particular day for refusing to come out of his cell.
Wow. Oh, man. I guess what do you got to lose at that point? You running around shooting people, contempt of court. It's like, oh, whatever. He doesn't even care. They need to just drag him out and make him do it.
Well, the law is the law. And as they constantly tell me, you're innocent until proven guilty.
Right. I mean, you're right there. I can't argue with that, which is why we say alleged for everything. But I think we're pretty sure about a lot of the things. I mean, that button really gets me. After doing something like that, you reach down and where was the button? Just pinned right here?
It was pinned on her jacket. She always wore it on her jacket above her breast. And every day she went to work, she wore that button.
And he didn't just rip it off and throw it. He took it.
He took it. So,
Do they know where he brought it?
Look, if he didn't take it, someone else did.
Mm.
And that someone had to have been with him. Someone took the button off of her after they killed her.
That's a good point, because you know what? Now putting it together, what you just said and what Sandy had said about getaway driver, you think there's someone else involved, and he's running around shooting people. You would think he's not just going to run home with a gun in his hand. He's going to likely have, because he didn't throw the gun because he came back the second time with the gun again. So he's going to have a getaway person parked not far away, right?
Yeah, that's the assumption. He wasn't working by himself. That's a natural assumption.
Wow.
But
okay.
If he's the one that wants to take all of it, then, as the detective told me,
that's really cool. She says the actress Julianne Moore also did a segment on LaTatia as a piece of her Women Crushing Wednesday acknowledgement. So check that out, guys.
She did. I sent that to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that the chat gets it. Do you want to speak on that at all, or anywhere where people could find it?
Okay, well, Deanie would have to speak on it because I'm not a big fan, of
not a TV person.
People. No.
Yeah.
And when she saw it, she sent me the clipping, and I'm like, no offense, Julianne Moore, but I'm like, well, who are you? Because I watch stuff, and I watch it just because I enjoy it. It takes my mind off of things that are really happening, or I'm reading something.
You're not someone reading the paper to see what celebrities are dating today or anything.
No. I don't even watch ET on television. So when Deanie told me that, I had to go and look it up for myself, and I thanked her so much for doing that, because here again, I didn't even, a celebrity. She knew about my daughter.
It's really cool. Yeah, I mean, that's impressive. That just goes to show, cool as far as like you saying you didn't realize how popular and how well liked she was, even a celebrity. That's pretty. Celebrities are only people, of course, but just that her reach got that far is pretty awesome. Yeah.
Right.
Deanie, if you want, you can put a link in that chat. Sometimes it can be hard to do links in the chat there. Once this ends, we're going to be wrapping up here soon because we're nearing an hour. We just want to make sure we get everything up. But when it's done, Deanie, if you want to send a link to like the Julianne Moore thing or anything like that regarding the case, the thing that Julianne Moore did, I can put it in the description and the comments of this video so people could check out the episode with her in it if you would like, Deanie. So okay, so we're kind of nearing the hour. So what I typically like to do, we kind of halfway did this already, but I think it's much more powerful when we do it a certain way. I'd like for you to, I'm going to kind of go off screen for a moment. We're going to, actually can't do it until I say what I'm going to say, sorry. Hello? I heard a weird sound. I'd like for you to speak directly to anyone who, let's say someone does know this Deshaun Wilson person, or let's say we're wrong and he has nothing to do with Gregory's and it's someone else out there. Whoever it is that has information for Gregory, I would like for you to just kind of, for a couple of minutes, have like a heart-to-heart alone, speak directly to whoever that person may be or a group of people. Tell them why you feel, first of all, you can assure them that they're not going to get in trouble. Their name aren't going to be put out there. Tell them what this has done to your family, who it's affected and why all throughout your family, and how it would help you for them to come forward and fix this. Maybe really speak directly to them and let them know why you need for them to come forward and help with this. Would you like to kind of give a quick direct message?
Yes.
Okay. Give me one moment. I'm going to jump off screen here.
If you're watching, or if you know of someone that should be watching this, I'm asking you as a mother to please come forward through the tip line. It can be done anonymously. This has completely devastated my family. My two daughters were so close in age. They were like twins. Everything they did together. My grandsons, my daughter had 3 sons. And Gregory, the baby, was stolen. Then I thought I knew how my daughter felt, but I didn't really know until I had to walk in those same shoes that she had walked in for almost 3 years. Our family is a close-knit family, but we're being torn apart by emotions that should not be there. We used to trust people because we love people. Now that's very hard to do. The grandbabies, my great-grandbabies, lost not only their father, their mother died when they were very small. Then their father was murdered in 2020. My daughter, their grandmother took on the role of mother, father, and grandmother. And then she was snatched away from them. How cruel can you be? How heartless can you be? You had a mother somewhere, a father, a sister, a brother, niece, nephew, somewhere. Please, if you're watching this, or if you know of someone that you think strongly had a part in this, encourage them to come forward. Encourage them to accept responsibility for what they have done. They've torn our family apart.
Thank you, Mae. I want to thank you for coming on today. I can only imagine what you've been through. I'm sorry to make you do that at the end. Typically, people get emotional, but I feel like that's really the time. If I'm a guy watching it that knows something, and I'm watching this show, that's going to be the time that makes me go, "Oh crap, man! I can't live with this anymore." So I think it's really important. So I'm sorry to put you through that, but thank you for your strength. I'm always here for you, Mae. If any developments come up, now that I know your email, I know how to get you. So I apologize for that first time. But just keep me updated. If there's anything else I can do going forward, even if it's just throwing a flyer on Facebook or something simple, we can do that, or a whole nother interview because for whatever reason it's going to help. I'll be here for you. Just let me know. But I think that's basically it on my end. Hi, Krista. Thanks for coming. Yeah, we're going to end it in a minute, Krista, but it'll be right up and uploaded, and you can watch it. Thank you so much for joining us. Krista, I'm going to be doing at least a few a week. I'm back for good. So you don't have to worry. But Meg, thank you so much again. Is there anything else you wanted to say as we finish up here? I think you got most of it out. I don't want to keep Yeah, I know it's a little tough. Okay, so you have a great night. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm going to probably spend a little bit of tonight and tomorrow, a lot of tomorrow, putting this all different places, trying to see East St. Louis groups, really getting word out in that area. Okay.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you so much for everything.
It's my pleasure. Just let me know anything else moving forward. Okay, I'm here for you. You're not alone. You have you have our whole group here to help you.
Thank you.
We got an awesome community here on the channel. But yeah, and everyone who leaves, like I said, keep an eye on the comments, which will be under the video throughout the weeks and months, because you never know who comes in and says anything from this chat is going to end. So that chat will never again be anything you talk to. It's now going to be the comments under there. So if anyone has any info, that's going to be where it is. So just keep an eye once or twice a week.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great night, Mae.
You too.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. Just a wonderful woman, wonderful family. I couldn't even imagine being in their shoes, guys. First, the mom with the son, then the grandmom with her daughter and her grandson. So please do everything you can to help out. Send out flyers. If you know anyone in the East St. Louis area, send this video along to them. You point out to them the areas in the video where we showed all those pictures. Maybe they know someone in there. That name, again, this is all alleged. We're not accusing anything, but Deshaun King Wilson is the person currently in going to trial for shooting LaTatia allegedly. So if you know of any connections he would have to Gregory, then come forward and we'll go from there. Thank you so much, everyone. It was a little bit slow. It's actually, we had more people. I think we had close to a few hundred that came in throughout the hour. We had about 30 to 35 max at a time, but people come in and out, all different people. So that wasn't too bad. So thank you guys for my first show back. I appreciate that we got a decent amount of people because that's the whole point we do this, of course. If we're not reaching anyone, if people aren't able to watch it, then it's like, how are we helping? So let's help get this video out there, push it to all East St. Louis groups as well as anywhere. You never know who knows who. So, all right, guys, I love you. It's been Jason Hebert Live. Like I said, it might have been a little rusty there in the beginning. It's my first show in 2 years, but thank you for bearing with me, and have a great night, everyone. I love you all.